Hello. Welcome to the Mile High Game Guys. Day 4 / overall recap episode.
Yep. I'm Zach.
Also, you're Zach. And I'm Jeff.
Yeah. And you're Jeff.
And
yes.
I'm Jeff. Yes.
This is a long weekend.
Yeah. It was a long weekend of travel. Well, long Sunday into Monday of travel.
Right.
Traveling Sunday. Everyone else got home.
Mm-hmm.
I traveled.
On Monday.
And then I traveled again.
Yep.
We'll get there.
We'll get there, yes.
We'll get there. That's at the end.
That's at the very, so far.
Spoilers.
Yes. Spoilers, we got home.
Yeah. So this will be we'll start with our Sunday and how well our Sunday went.
Uh-huh.
We have beer right now
Yeah.
as well, which is nice.
Yeah. Crisp.
Indeed. You're drinking Baptista.
Yeah.
I'm drinking a
light, refreshing Baptista for a hot summer's day.
Yes. I will drink Baptista any day.
Yeah.
I don't give a shit.
I am
if
right
it's
there
1,000 degrees out. I love that beer.
I wouldn't drink it if it was 1,000 degrees just because that liquid is probably so hot that it would burn my throat.
Yeah, that's true. You know, if I'm in 1,000-degree heat and all I have is Baptista, I may as well give it a shot because I'm probably about to die.
You're not wrong. It'll either cool you down or just end it quicker.
There you go.
Yeah.
Molten lead.
Yeah.
Yeah. Anyways, so I was drinking molten lead.
Uh-huh.
Yes. And Saturday.
Sunday.
Well, we ended Saturday.
Yes.
It was party night.
Mm-hmm.
We recorded after.
Yeah.
We had a lot of beer, and then we had to get up early Sunday-ish. Early-ish Sunday. We wanted to get down there by 11 o'clock. I think the expo hall opened at 10 as usual. Mm-hmm. But we had an appointment with Tim Fowers.
Mm-hmm. Well, and we also had to get a little bit early for for checking out of hotel rooms, asking why there was an extra $176 on mine.
Oh, that's right. You were in a different hotel.
Yes.
Yes.
And that's because people were parking there, and it was $44 a night. And so I was like, okay, well, I'm going to need that money now, please.
Yeah.
Because money I had saved up for buying games and stuff, every day I would look at my account, and I was like, oh, that is getting lower. They are charging more. That's the problem when you use a debit card at a hotel. They're like, oh, you're thinking about doing something? We're going to charge it.
Yeah.
But that's all resolved now. So
Good. We had to be out of our room at like noon, which was a pretty late checkout.
That is. Ours was 11.
Yeah. So we
and apparently you're allowed to just check your bag like off to the side.
Yeah.
Which I didn't know mine did. It might not have, but that's why I was just bringing my rolly case. You guys are like, just come check it. Fuck you, I'm not walking all the way over to the Omni.
Yeah. We checked our bag there. They had a big room set off to the side because, of course, all the nerds were wanting to go to the last day.
Yep.
But didn't want to pay for another day of room, of
100%, yeah.
So they were very cordial and free hold on your bag.
Mm-hmm.
So we checked in all of our baggage and stuff with the hotel and then went on down to the convention center.
Yes.
To meet with Tim Fowers.
Yep.
Who I had met the day earlier. I guess Adrian and Paul had met at HeavyCon.
Yeah, and they played a demo copy, an earlier version. Earlier prototype version.
Earlier prototype than what we played.
Yes.
Of Sabotage.
Yep.
His game that he has up on Kickstarter right now. Which I had forgotten, sort of.
Until you were talking with him.
Yes. I remember, I was like, oh yeah, we talked about that. And then later we were talking about the Kickstarter, and I was like, oh, when's the Kickstarter?
He's like,
now?
It's
like now. And I was like, oh yeah, because we talked about that. I think it's on Kickstarter, like $59.
Yeah.
And then like $59 Asian shipping, Asia shipping. You don't have to be Asian to get the $59 pledge on that one. Just have to live in Asia.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. He does not discriminate in that way.
He does not. It's just cheaper shipping.
Yeah.
So we met up with him.
Mm-hmm. Well, we were supposed to meet up with him at 11.
Yes.
And
to find a table, because I guess he had been trying to find an area to like demo this in the event hall.
Yeah.
But like all the tables were taken up, and he kept trying to demo, and people kept kicking him off and stuff. We ran into the same issue with Charterstone.
Yeah.
But us as the grizzled veterans know the right places to go where no one will bother you.
Yeah, and if you see something numbered, just go to the last number.
Yes, because knowing event halls, nothing is going to fill out.
Yeah.
So we went to that same area.
Yep.
Which was actually more, it was like an RPG area, which was more busy than what it was it was more busy Sunday than it was when we were playing Thursday.
Yes.
Which was weird.
It was.
Especially for how early it was.
Mm-hmm. But it was also weekday versus weekend.
Yeah.
And
last day of the con.
Yeah, versus first day of con. Some people don't get there till like we normally we wouldn't even gotten to GenCon by that time if we hadn't flown in the previous day.
That's true.
So
we were going to meet up with him, and I texted him where we were, and then 30 minutes later he got there,
and
because he was constantly being stopped for conversations, and saying hi and how amazing he is.
Which you were like, he's probably just getting stopped, and then it was just like, yep, that's about
Nailed
it.
it.
Nailed it.
It was a long day at work.
Yeah, I'm sure.
So we got the explanation of the game. We had set up. It was David, Wes, and me. And Jeff and Zach.
And Zach, yes.
It was myself and Wes as
the
villains, and Zach and David as the spies.
Yes.
The best description I can give / have seen, is
going to have a lot of buzzwords.
I don't have all the buzzwords off the top of my head, but I have heard it compared to Battleship.
Yes.
And I really think it seems to me a lot like Captain Sonar.
Also, yes.
Which is also a lot like Battleship, I guess.
Except this one is not nautical themed.
No, it's on an island.
Yeah.
It's surrounded by water.
But the water is not important to the game.
No, it is not. So you're like two villains and two spies, and there's a divider in between, and you can't see where everyone is, but you all have the same layout. As the spies move, they have to ask you a question, which is sort of like there's 4 color grids.
It's a 4x4 in total.
4x4 with 2x2 colored grids inside. And then it's lettered, like there's 16 letters. What is the 16th letter, Zach?
P.
A through P.
Yep.
Because then you're going like row A, column A, the color red, or whatever sectors.
And then sometimes you have to say the specific cell that you're in.
Yes. So every time a spy moves, they ask you a question that's based on where they just moved. So they can ask the column, the row, or
the
quadrant. And so the villain has to say, like, if you're in that quadrant, if you're in that column, if you're in that row, and then they can kind of see where the villains are. But that when the way they're asking the questions, that's thinning down where the spies are. And we should also mention we played the base game for a learning game,
which he did say leaned more towards the villains than the spies.
Yes,
which I definitely felt that.
It wasn't that easy.
No.
To be fair.
No. But definitely as a spy, I was always just like
he was clearly paying attention to what I was doing.
Yeah.
And I was getting lucky. Because he said I got a lot of 1 out of 4s chances on what was happening. So that's kind of where you get your information between the two sides. Each side also has some powers they can use because this is a programming game. And
it's a dice-based programming game.
Dice-based programming game. Your powers are different from each side, asymmetrical.
Yep.
It's an asymmetrical dice programming...
Dice action selection programming game. But
miniatures.
Right, yeah. But there aren't... It's not like everybody's rolling their own die. one of the villains rolls their 4 dice, and then everybody has to copy that. So everybody has the same dice to choose from.
Yeah. But the villains can move with 1 to 4.
Which the spies can as well.
Yep. You can use the flashlight power with 1 and 2, which kind of illuminates 3 blocks in front of you, or in a direction. We have a taser ability that kills a spy within 1 square on a 5 and 6. And then you can power a generator, which lets you activate more dice because you start with only 2 being able to be activated.
Yep. For the spies, it's 1 to 4 to move, 5 or 6 to hack a generator or a doomsday device. Because how you win is, for the spies, is to hack all the doomsday devices.
And how the villains win is to kill the spies a collective 5 times?
Yes.
Okay. And you have to hack 5 times.
Yeah, I guess, yeah.
Yeah, I think that's what it was.
Yeah. And so... Oh, it was only 5 times?
I think so.
Okay, I thought it was 9 times.
No.
I was like, we are getting so far. That makes more sense.
You hacked 2 or 3 times, and that was only 2 away from
okay.
winning.
It was closer than I thought, because we still had 6 or 7 left, and I was like, how the hell are we supposed to do this? Anyway, the spies also have an earpiece, which is activated on a 1, and that's where I can move my
spy partner,
spy mate, 1 square, and I announce that I'm moving him, but not where.
Yes.
And I can't move through walls, obviously.
And that's sort of kind of where that reminded me of Captain Sonar when you go silent.
Yeah.
You can sort of move in a direction and you don't know.
Yes. And the spies get more dice by locating the villains. So that's why you want to. It's sort of a double-edged sword. It's like you want to find the villains, but you also don't want to give away too much information, because if I move and I ask different, if I ask between a row and a column, you're going to know which way I was going.
Yeah.
And then also, whenever we hack a generator or a doomsday, we have to tell you exactly which one we did, so you know exactly where we are.
Yeah.
And whenever we get hit, our characters die, and then they basically parachute down at the beginning of the next round.
He was saying it's you're just another clone.
Yep. And so anytime we were joking that Jeff or Wes would taser a wrong area, it's nope, sorry, that was just one of the clones you already killed. But one interesting / annoying thing is that the villains go first.
Yes.
And so the spies, if they get
killed,
killed,
take all their actions.
Yeah, they take all their actions. So if they kill any of the spies with the taser, they just can't do their action because they're dead.
Yes.
I mean, they can attempt to do it, but the body's not going to cooperate very much.
Correct.
And
so getting caught has some nasty.
Yes,
penalties.
And then also whenever we die, we lose a certain amount of experience from finding the villains that makes us lose some of those extra dice.
Yes.
So. So what do you think of it?
I thought it was good. Mm-hmm. But it was the basic version. And
you were definitely feeling okay, I've got it, but I would rather play the
regular
game. Yeah.
It was definitely a game that was needed to learn. Mm-hmm. I would say play that and then go to the basic version. Yeah, because you did the full version. Full version.
Yeah. Because especially in the beginning, you're do I want to go straight for stuff, or do I want to try and feign that I'm going somewhere and going a different way?
Yeah. Because
at least the first time you're oh, I'm just going to go here, and then the villains are oh, he's probably just going to go here. Zap. Oh, he's dead. And you're damn it.
Yep. We should say that the setup is a little asymmetric, I guess. It's the spies set up all the walls, and then the villains put all of the doomsday devices and generators down after the walls have been put down.
Yep.
It seemed a little constrictive for the basic version.
Mm-hmm. But some of those powers that you get sound crazy, and once you unlock them, so instead of spending experience, let's call it that, to get extra dice, you can spend it to get extra abilities, and you always retain those abilities. And
Yes.
some of them are like pretty crazy.
Yes.
Like for the villains, it's the orbital strike. It's like, I'm just going to shoot here and destroy.
I'm going to choose P.
Yep.
Are you in P? Well, you're dead.
Yeah. And then there for the spies, there was like holograms. So you see a flat, like you'll see up to 2 extra me.
Yeah.
But once you hit them, they just disappear.
Yeah. You don't know if they're real or not.
Exactly. And so what's great is like one of the things is it's not an EM, it's basically just a satellite scan or whatever, and we have to tell you exactly where all of us are all. And I'll be like, I am on P, D, and on K.
Yes.
And you're like, God damn it.
But these aren't activated with just simple dice rolls.
No.
You need to combine dice rolls.
Like sums.
You need like a sum of 13 to be able to use the orbital strike.
Right, yeah.
Or the hologram or something like that.
And so that means you'd have to use at least three out of your 4 dice.
Yeah.
So
this all takes place in the Burgle Bros
universe.
The Fowers verse.
Yeah, Fowers verse, yeah.
So I guess all of the spies are like the thieves from Burgle Bros. The villains are new, I believe.
Okay.
I think. The advanced version seems pretty cool.
Yeah.
We're going to get a print and play and to be able to kind of get some more play time in on that.
Yeah, and also each of the characters have their own special abilities too. So
yeah, there's a bunch of different villains and a bunch of different spies, and they all have different abilities, and they all seem crazy.
Yeah.
Like one guy has a minigun that he just mows down the wall, everything in between him and
another guy can just close a door.
Yeah, just
which is actually pretty. It's like oh, that seems pretty stupid, but it's like they can't go in there until they open the door, and you're like, oh, damn it, we have to actually shoot it, actually destroy it.
Yeah.
So.
Because there's a ton of little tiles and special powers and things like that he was showing off. But it looks pretty cool.
Yeah. Yeah, I think it took a little bit, just like Captain Sonar, where it takes a little while to get used to it. But once we got the hang of it, it was moving a lot quicker.
Yeah, I felt it went a little long.
Yeah.
But that might just be the base version.
Exactly.
We weren't really expanding on anything anymore. We were sort of trying to murder you until you were murdered.
Yep.
And you were trying to get the things done.
Mm-hmm. We were trying to stop you from murdering everybody.
Yeah.
And we failed.
Yes, that's true.
So
the Doomsday happened.
Sorry, world.
Yeah, the world is now hostage to our Doomsday weapons.
Yep.
But yeah, Sabotage was fun.
Yeah.
I recommend backing that on Kickstarter.
Or at the very least, looking into it, seeing all the various buzzwords, and see if those.
Yeah. He was looking for a way to like tighten the way you describe the game, but there's a lot.
Yeah.
Like hidden movement, dice programming,
player powers,
asymmetrical player powers.
Yep. Well, not only asymmetrical, and then also individual player powers.
It seems like it has a little bit of everything in it.
But at least it didn't feel too overstuffed in the beginning, for the base.
And he seemed worried that it's a lot heavier than his other games,
which is very true.
Yeah. But I don't think it's heavy. It is not a heavy game.
No, like all of his other ones are solidly like 2 or below.
Yeah.
This one like 2.5, maybe
3
at
most.
At most.
Yes, between 2 and 3. 2.5 to 3.
Yeah,
that's where I'd put it.
Yes,
with the crazy powers.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. But we'll get a print and play made and see what we can do at like game night and stuff.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah. Looking forward to playing more. So that was the big Sunday affair.
Yeah, because after that, basically everybody else except for you left.
Everyone left. It was just me and CJ. Because like Paul and Ant immediately left. They had like an early flight. Gave me all of the games that they had bought over the con because Bob was driving back and going to haul all of our stuff back here. So it was just CJ and I because we were both just driving back to Chicago. We didn't have to be back at any time.
Yep.
Just sort of, I mean, it was a weekend, so traffic, who cares?
Yeah. Technically my flight wasn't until 8:30, but the lack of funds due to the parking situation was like, hey, Wes and David, they left for the airport at like 1, and I'm like, can I ride with you? And so then I spent basically 8 hours at the airport because my flight was delayed. So it was great.
Flight delays are awesome.
Yeah, they
are. So after that, CJ and I decided to just wander the hall again, which was, we stayed pretty much till close, which was 4.
4, yeah.
Because we wanted to see a couple other little things. We went back by the Kingdom Death just to look at more sweet cards and miniatures and stuff. CJ was going over all the things he owned, which he owns almost everything, which is insane for a person that doesn't play the game. There was much less of a crowd, so I could actually go through and slowly read all of the crazy horseshit that's in that game.
Oh, I'm sure, yeah.
I'm surprised anyone can play the game long enough to unlock a lot of this stuff.
Yeah.
Because it's nuts. Like the power level that some of this later game stuff gets.
Oh, yeah.
Even if I don't even know if it is later game, but the power level gets insane.
Yeah.
Isn't the campaign only limited to like 20 years or something like that?
Technically, the final, like the quote unquote final boss for the base thing is the Watcher, and that's at like 25 years. But you can keep going past that.
You just have to get past that.
Yeah.
And then you can fight a Dragon King or something that nuclear blasts out of its chest or something.
Yeah.
And then knocks you into can knock you into the sky, where you get like the starfall condition. I assume you just fall to the ground at some point and die.
Probably,
But you probably land on someone and kill them as well.
Sounds about right.
Yeah. His art is him ripping someone in half. And I was like, yeah, that sounds like something that would happen.
Yes.
Anyway, Kingdom Death.
We need to play that again.
Yeah. We have so many games we want to play.
Yeah. At least we got done with Charterstone. That was
Charterstone's
one game.
done.
One game done.
Charterstone smashed. And if you have, then we will have the Jamie Stegmaier
on Friday
interview on Friday, where we will talk a bit about that and other things. Nice guy, as always.
Yes.
He just posted a a rating of like things that he loved from the convention, like 10 out of 10, 8 out of 10, 5 out of 10.
Nice.
I think the
was Mile High Game Guys just dash out of 10.
the media interviews, he had mentioned in the interview, he doesn't get many of them.
Right.
A lot of them are just pitches.
Yeah.
Which is nuts. Like how many people pitch to him all convention long. I'd be surprised more people aren't interested in sitting down and chatting with him.
I don't know.
You remember there was 3 of us last year.
Yes.
Which there was only 2. Always a nice guy. After we wandered through Kingdom Death, we just started wandering the hall and looking at cool things, because I hadn't really done much of that besides sort of just kind of be like hanging out with friends and be like, oh, what do you want to see? What do you want to see? I then wandered through where the new Warhammer game, Doomseeker, was. I had seen it really late.
Wasn't that like a sort of a re-implementation of a previous game?
Not that I'm aware of.
Or did it just have a previous, an older name, like Slayer or something like that?
It may have, but not that I was aware of, or that he had mentioned.
Oh, okay. He was real hush-hush about it.
Yeah. But I had seen Doomseeker when we were talking about getting together news or something like that for the regular podcast, and I don't think we talked about it. But it was something I was interested in, because Slayers are cool. Dwarves aren't, but Slayers are. Because all they want to do is fight. They were dishonored in some fashion, like they lost the family heirloom while getting drunk or something, and now they've like relinquished all of their titles, and now they just want to go and fight and kill
until they die.
They want the most glorious death, basically. They want to put the axe in the skull of the greater demon as the greater demon rips them in half. Like take each other out.
Right, yeah.
And that's kind of exactly what this game is. It's I think up to 4 individual player powers. You're buying different runes and axes and things like that. And there's like a row of enemies, and then it sort of has a little bit of take that in it, where other Slayers are like, fuck you, like the difficulty might be like you need to roll a 2+, but they're playing cards on you to make your dice roll harder. So now you might need a 5+ after a couple cards are played. But then you have your axes that have powers. My favorite thing is there's no equipment limit in this. Like you can't.
It's not like 2 one-handed axes or even 2 two-handed axes.
You can have 10 axes on you where they're attached to your beard or on your back or on like 3 axes on like a length of chain.
Nice.
Like there is no limit to that, which I thought was a cool thematic thing because they love axes.
You know what? I'm sure they do.
Yeah. So then you try and kill the monster, or the monster does damage to you with this die roll. Inevitably, you die, but it's not player elimination. You go to like the ancestral halls, or aka Dwarven Heaven, and then you can still play, but you're not fighting monsters anymore. Because one of the mechanics in the game is other Slayers can do like bidding and stuff like that. It's like, I think he can win. I'm going to bet this. I think he's going to lose. I think this is going to happen. So you keep doing that as your like Ghost Slayer and still getting points and things like that.
Gotcha.
So you're still able to interact with the game. It's not total elimination.
Right.
Because the whole point of the game is for everyone to die. But you want to kill as much as you can before you die.
Right.
Which I thought was cool.
Yeah.
It came out. It seems like it comes out with a good way around. Just be like, I'm dead. All right, you guys play until you're all dead.
And that makes sense.
Which would suck.
How many people can it play up to?
Up to 4. I think.
Okay.
Yeah.
So 2 to 4, you said?
2 to 4 most likely. Yeah, I doubt there's a solo version.
Okay.
But
it's just one guy killing monsters.
Yeah.
All right, I killed monsters. Cool.
Cool. There's a monster trench that has all of your classic old world Warhammer stuff in there. This is definitely not Age of Sigmar, which also is what turned me on to it. It's from Ninja Division, I think, which I was not suspecting them. Well, it was in their booth, at least.
Right.
I ended up buying it. Looking forward to playing it. Maybe I'll play it at game night.
Yeah.
Today, if you're listening to this, on Wednesday.
Right. Yeah, we'll see.
Yeah. A lot of new games. So Doomseeker, I think the only new game
that you bought,
that I bought that wasn't an expansion.
How much was it?
40?
Oh, that's not too bad.
No, okay. I heard the price and I was like, okay, I'll pay $40 for that.
Yeah.
I've paid $40 for worse.
Yeah.
I'm sure parking for one day.
Yeah.
So then I was wandering around a little more, and then CJ had wandered back over to Grey Fox and was looking at the multi-Universum game.
Oh, yeah.
I kind of walked in on halfway through the demo, but he was chit-chatting about it. It's sort of like some team is making a time machine, but it opens up portals through time, but then it ends up opening like a crazy amount of portals, and it's not just through time; it's through like a multiverse.
Okay.
And so each card is a unique, like, weird world, like dinosaurs or mecha dinosaurs or like Cthulhu or
dinosaurs
or the future, but it's all unique art. Or like spiders, like weird spider creatures.
Spider dinosaurs. It's just all dinosaur related. It's weird.
I didn't get all the mechanics or anything in there, but it looked cool.
Gotcha.
I looked through all the different portals and stuff just to see what all the different
art looked good.
The art looked really good, actually, on all the different crazy worlds,
right?
Yeah, portals that you could go through. And then we were just gonna wander off. Said bye to Alex. I was like, yeah, we're just gonna wander around. And Alex from Grey Fox. Just gonna wander around and see what's going on. Bye. And then I saw that the Superhot demo was free, and I was like, I'm going to go over that Superhot demo. And then whoever was setting it up was just leaving.
Right.
And she was like, oh, did you want a seat? And she's like, let me get you someone. I'm about to go. And I was like, okay. And then she comes back and he was like, Alex is going to help you. And I was like, and he's like, you? And he said, bye. I was like, well, it's Superhot. I want to see Superhot. Because I guess whoever was supposed to be the next shift was like a volunteer person and couldn't show up.
Fucking volunteers.
Yeah.
They shouldn't pay her for that, man.
So he gave me a quick rundown on it. The solo version Another guy came over and he was interested in it, and he was interested in more multiplayer stuff, so he was kind of showing off that a little bit. And I was like, I really liked the deck building mechanics. It was very unique, like the way you spend things. But the more you spend, just like Superhot the game, when you move, time moves when you move.
Yep.
So whenever you play a card, time moves. The more cards you play, the more time moves. And then there's objectives like there's like a 6-card trench in there. Like eliminate all of the trench as one of the objectives. And then there's different resources on there, like dodge resources, and then like, I don't know, murder resources. Like you want to dodge a bullet, but then you want to murder a dude. But the more you purchase out of the trench, those go into your hand next. So those are your things that you're getting by spending your cards, and the ones you spend are going back into not this row, but they're going to go back into the deck, and things you'll have to get later. So it's pretty cool. Like you'll have like the glass bottle. You're picking up the glass bottle, and that will be in your hand the next turn because you've used that to like.
Right,
you've picked it up.
But when you use the glass bottle, you don't really get it back.
No, it'll go back into the
so
shuffle.
It's deck building, but it's sort of ever evolving.
Yes, it's like deck building and hand discarding.
Yeah,
I don't know. Just
everything is destroy this card.
Yes, basically. Seems cool. It's primarily designed as a solo game. I am not a solo game person, but it caught my attention.
Cool.
I am looking forward to trying it.
Nice.
Did we talk about Pocket Mars?
Yes.
We talked about Pocket Mars. Yeah. All right, good. Pocket Mars is still a thing.
You know, you're exactly right.
Pocket Mars
it still exists.
Still a threat. But while I was getting the rundown in Superhot, Edward from Heavy Cardboard walked by, saying hello to Alex. He was kind of quickly walking by, and I saw behind me, and I was like, "Oh, hi." He clearly did not recognize me, which is fine because I think I've met him once.
Yeah,
and
I think we met him once, like a year and a half ago.
Probably.
I feel like it was
probably just because I keep seeing his face everywhere.
Yeah,
he doesn't see my face everywhere.
No.
I also probably had about a foot less hair at the time.
You know what? I would say it was maybe like 7 inches, not a full foot.
Most of the hair was not there.
Yes, that's correct.
Yes. So then I swung by the booth they were hanging out with. They were at the name of that company I don't have offhand. I
don't know who it is.
Anyways.
Yeah. I will look it up.
That's fine.
Subtly.
But they were demoing a listener of the show who we met Wednesday, Jonathan. I had just seen I hadn't been looking at Slack and didn't know where he was, but I knew he was going to be at the beer launch from Sun King, and I just saw him walking by, and I saw his name, and I was like, "Oh, Jonathan, hello," because I had no idea what he looked like. He's like, "Oh, I thought," and then he was talking to me, and he thought, it's like, "Oh yeah, you have all the hair. You look familiar."
Sounds about right.
But he was demoing at that booth, and he was demoing a programming game. But it's more of a like adding and subtracting and dividing calculator programming.
Okay.
Because it's a game, Lovelace and Babble. I got a quick rundown of the story from Jonathan. A guy was working for the British Empire to make like the first computer in the mid 1800s, and had been given like $10,000 back in like ye olde money, which means it was like $1 billion in now money.
I mean, sounds about right. Yeah.
And he just wasn't getting it done, or was bad with money, basically. And then this woman, I can't remember which was which, Lovelace or Babbage was the man or woman.
It's Lovelace and Babbage.
Yes.
I don't know.
Yeah. But she kind of came around. She came around and got everything shipshape, put his shit right, and made the first like calculator, like mechanical calculator. but the game is like a 4x5, 1, 2, 3, 4, and A, B, C, D, E. And then each coordinate is a different command.
Okay.
So A1 is plus or minus 1. B1 is plus or minus 2.
Gotcha.
C1 is plus or minus 5, plus or minus 10, etc., etc.
And it was the Artana Games booth.
Artana Games.
Artana, that's where they were.
Yeah. I'd probably be able to look that up if my phone wasn't on timer right now. So since CJ was waiting for me, and I knew he would not be able to understand this game due to the math and adding, I just sat down with Jonathan for like a quick one-round rundown of the game. We played the first round. So it's like a writing programming game. You start at 55, and then you have an individual deck of various scientists from around that era that has a deck that will have numbers and player powers. You get the player power by unlocking the number that's at the bottom. So you start at 55, and you have to use all these commands to try and get to 84.
Okay.
And you have like 4 or 5 spots to do that. And then you're writing the coordinates in, like I'm writing in A1 plus or A1 minus. And then I write the number that makes it, and then you go to the next command, and the next command, and the next command. Then there is this tableau or trench of scientists like Darwin, etc., that all have 2 resources on the bottom of them and a number. The resources are basically just, I would say, similar to a roll and write. You unlock if you get to that number first, you get your first choice of the resource. You mark it on the bottom of your card. The more of that resource at the end of the game you have, the more points you have.
Gotcha. Okay.
So the first person gets 1, the second person gets another, and then after that it flips over, and then you just sort of get generic like points.
Okay.
Yeah. So basically, you want to be the most efficient with your mathing.
Sounds about right. Yeah.
It took a second for me to really understand how the game was working, and I totally screwed it up. And because of course I would.
Right. Yeah.
For like a math programming game.
You didn't immediately understand all the intricacies of it, Jeff?
Yeah.
For shame.
It did not quite get there. But there's a perfect mechanic in there. There's 2 spots that give you negative points at the end of the game called debugging. So you fill in one of those, and there's a sand timer. Basically, when the first person's done, they flip over the timer, and you have everyone else has a minute to finish their programming. And then the debug is like, oh, I clearly fucked up. All right, I'm going to fill in the debug. I'm going to flip over the 1-minute timer, and now I have a minute to try and fix my code.
Oh, gotcha.
Yeah.
Okay.
I thought that was cool.
No, that sounds pretty cool. I like that.
And then the next, so we just played the 1 round, but he sort of went over what happens in the next round. Any of the cards you unlock, you get. If you unlocked your personal one, you get that as a power. Those can be used for a variety of different ones. The one I happened to do, he was like, this one's super broken. It will be changing. It was very broken. If you're the first to get to one of those like scientist cards, you just get both resources and flip the card. That's pretty nice. But there's a bag of random tiles or like gears that you'll put into the next 4, like row 3, A, B, C, D, that will be like plus or minus 33,
right,
or just like a random variety of different math things that you do for the next round. And then you just kind of go through the like 5 or 6 rounds and add up scores at the end.
Sounds interesting.
Yeah, it was a prototype copy. I think it's still pretty... It's not super close. It's Jess's passion project.
Okay.
I think she was fully involved in development of it.
Nice.
I have a picture of her card because she was running out of cards. But as was I. So we'll be taking a look at that down the road as well for review.
Cool.
Yeah.
Nice.
She also handed off a copy of Speakeasy Blues, which she described as the next Sagrada. Since it's been in Bob's car ever since about 15 minutes after that meeting, I have not taken a look at it yet.
Gotcha.
But I had talked to someone at when we were at the Sun King beer launch. Someone was demoing the game for them at. He was there and would be demoing that game, and he was talking to me about it beforehand. And I was like, oh, that sounds cool. And I'm glad I remembered to actually stop by and take a look.
Oh, there you go. Nice.
So yeah, Speakeasy Blues coming soon. And it was nice hanging out with Jonathan again. He gave us $2. No, he gave us $1 in pennies.
Yep.
For his Kickstarter pledge.
50 cents to you and
Yes.
50 cents to me.
Indeed.
Yep.
There's a picture floating around somewhere of me having received pennies. I did not rip into him on the spot. I probably should have.
Yeah.
But I did not. We'll save it for the next episode.
Yes, definitely. Yes. And your picture is happier than mine is.
Yes. I think when we got back to the room, I made you hold pennies.
Yeah.
Or something.
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
Yep.
That sounds right. I think that was it for the con then. Did that. Sort of wandered around. No. I'm remembering. I bought things on Sunday. I waited in line for the Fantasy Flight booth so I could yell at CJ.
Did you finally get the sleeves?
I finally got the sleeves.
Okay.
I was like, CJ, these are gray. And he was like, he didn't understand how the Fantasy Flight color system works.
Which is bullshit. It's not his fault that it's like...
He was looking for gray colored
Exactly.
sleeves.
Yes.
Because I was like, there's orange, there's green, there's yellow, and there's gray. I need 3 of gray. And there is also colored sleeves.
Exactly.
And he was like, there's no gray.
Uh-huh.
And I was like, I'm sorry. I thought you knew what you were looking for.
Once again, you were like, CJ, I'm entrusting you with this. You inferred that he would have a set amount of knowledge.
Yes.
And
I should have known better that he does not have that set amount of knowledge. So went through the Fantasy Flight line because it was pretty short, and I didn't care about anything that anyone else cared about. I wanted sleeves.
Yeah.
And then I looked at Runebound, which I shouldn't have done.
No.
Because I do like Runebound 3rd edition. Haven't played it in a while. They've come out with a bunch of expansions.
Yes, they have.
They just came out with a big expansion.
Uh-huh.
I have no idea when it came out, but it is a co-op expansion, and I bought that.
Okay.
A co-op Runebound 3rd edition expansion. And then I was like, well, I'm buying sleeves. So I bought sleeves enough to sleeve Runebound and the Runebound expansion.
Was that a lot more sleeves?
It was a lot more sleeves.
A lot more?
Yeah, it was. 'Cause I was like, I've never really fully sleeved a game before. Let's give it a shot. And if not, I have a bunch of tiny sleeves for like literally anything else I want. Like Gloomhaven, the combat decks, etc.
Yep.
I am not sleeving that entire game. I am not spending another $200 on sleeves just to sleeve that stupid game.
Well, especially the things you don't even use.
Yeah, you use I'm not going to sleeve the road deck. I use that one card once
Yep.
and then shred it and then it's gone.
Yep.
Except not actually shred it. So yeah, went by the Fantasy Flight booth, bought a bunch of sleeves, got a bag because to put all the sleeves in.
Oh yeah.
One of their huge bags. Had Keyforge on the side this year, I believe. Went by the cool stuff Ding and Dent area again.
Anything?
No. I even went there when I got in an hour early, and I was like, meh.
Yeah.
There was a copy of Codenames XXL in there, but by the time I got in there, people already had 8 games deep in their hands, for the Ding and Dent stuff.
Yeah. Well, especially because all that shit was just priced to sell because they didn't want to bring it back. So.
Yes.
No Star Wars Rebellion.
Star Wars Rebellion sold out.
Not surprised.
Yeah. At $70 a pop.
Yep.
Wow. I was not suspecting that. It was $65 last year. It's $5 more expensive.
It's price and demand.
I guess. Who still doesn't own that game?
You?
Me, yeah.
Now it's just you.
Now it's literally just me. I'm the only one that doesn't own that game.
Yep.
So then we picked up all the games, walked to Bob's car that was not as close as we had hoped.
Sounds about right.
Yeah. And then walked back. By the time we had walked back, the con was closed, which was fine, but we wanted to go eat at the good price, nice amount of food area.
So reasonable drinks and stuff.
Drinks.
Yeah. Yep.
So we did.
God damn it. Was that 5 for you then?
I think that was 5.
Shit, I was hoping to tie you on that.
Yeah. It may... Yeah, it was definitely...
No, yeah.
It was because it was Wednesday.
Yep.
Thursday. Twice Thursday.
Yes. Friday.
Did we go Friday?
Yeah.
Okay, and then we went to Kuma's Saturday.
You went to Kuma's on Saturday.
And then I went Sunday.
Yeah, and I went to. I didn't go on Wednesday, but I did go on Saturday.
Yes.
So, God damn it.
Yep. 5.
Yep.
Great place. Pretty sure I gained like 40 pounds.
Sounds about right.
Yeah.
Did you finish off with a Long Island iced tea?
No, we just had cherry Cokes.
Okay.
Yes.
The cherry Coke Long Island iced tea.
Yeah, cherry Coke Long Island iced tea. And then we went back to we had lunch. Then we went back to the hotel, picked up our stuff, and got a lift to the parking garage that we parked at for $11 a day, which was fantastic. I'm glad we found that, because otherwise that would have sucked.
Yep.
Parking pretty much anywhere. I'm sure that thing filled up Wednesday, too. And then we drove back home. There was like a car accident on the Indiana-Illinois border.
Okay.
It was like 64 or 90 or something. I don't remember. But it added an extra 50 minutes onto our commute.
I mean, I'm sure you drove somewhere nice and just like full of cornfields.
So we took a detour.
Okay.
Through Gary, Indiana.
Okay, like the main part of Gary, Indiana?
I don't know. It's sort of parallel with the highway.
Okay.
They have replaced, like, there's traffic lights, but now they've just installed stop signs at all of these intersections. I was like, what? So it had stoplights and stop signs.
Both?
And the same, yeah. The lights weren't really working, so that was fine. So we survived Gary, Indiana, and that was fun. We saw someone filming a rap video, which it had to have been a rap video. There was a camera in the back of a car, and it was a bunch of gentlemen walking down a street, and I can only assume filming them while they were walking behind the car.
Nice.
I was like, all right. And then we survived all the way home. Got back to my grandparents, and then I was like, CJ, remember when you bought Everdell, that one like Superhot game from GenCon, and then we didn't play it? Well, we're playing it now.
Yeah.
So this
Open that motherfucker up.
Yeah. So this was at like 8:30. We went downstairs, watched a not great rule video, like Meeple University or something.
Okay.
It was okay. Learned the game. Started the game. Everdell is sort of a worker placement race for the galaxy.
I mean, I'll take your word for it. I haven't played it yet, so I can't collaborate anything that you're saying. Corroborate. There we go.
Yes, corroborate. There's 8 cards in the middle that are face up that you can build off of. You also have a hand of cards you can draw into your hand. Then there's 4 different resources: twigs, amber, pebbles, and berries. Okay. I should also mention this is a very cute critter woodland creature game.
Oh, this doesn't take place in like Warhammer 40k or something like that?
No, it's not this dark, gritty future where there is only war.
And twigs and berries.
Twigs. First thing, worst thing I've seen in a game in a very long time. The twigs are round.
What?
Yes. So they are round, cylindrical wood, like plastic tokens. They are round. So they roll everywhere.
Okay.
There's a reason everyone uses weirdly squared off shaped pieces. Because they don't roll everywhere.
Right,
This not great.
No.
Not great. Everything else, great. Did not love that.
I'm sure.
Yeah.
It should have at least like had a fork or something, like, so it'd have been more twig shapes.
Yeah.
And then
this was
no.
boo. Yeah. So there's a bunch of different spaces. Some spaces can take more than one worker.
Mm-hmm.
You only start with 2 workers, but the actions are like place a worker, play a card, or recall, which is like they call it like prepare for the next season. So you start in winter, and then there's spring, summer, fall. Every time you recall, the first time you recall, you get back you get an extra worker, and then it activates all your green buildings.
Okay.
Because there's like 5 different colors of buildings that give you resources and different powers, and the buildings all kind of have a 7 Wonders mechanic.
Okay.
To where there's a named critter. The critters are like the inhabitants.
Mm-hmm.
That if you have the named building played in front of you, you can play the critter for free.
Gotcha. Okay.
And then there's like a little token that you put in the bottom right of the building saying that you've used that building's like one free critter thing, because you can have multiples of the same building. Sometimes there's common buildings and unique buildings.
Okay.
The unique buildings have more powerful things and more expensive. You're basically just gathering the resources to build the buildings. There's also event cards
Mm-hmm.
that are smaller size cards that have a worker spot on them. And then, but the only way you can get those if you have, each of the event cards has 2 names on it. You have to have those 2 specific cards to be able to claim that event card. So you need like the inn and the bard to be able to get that one.
You need them both.
Yes,
Okay.
you need them both. But then they have a really powerful thing on there. It's like spend berries and get like 2 victory points per berry, which is a lot in that game.
Gotcha.
And then there's like there's 4 of the colors have 3 of a kind, and then one has like 4 of a kind of the same color. Like every critter in every building has different colors, and it's just an extra 3 victory points at the end of the game. But when you claim that, one of your workers goes on it to claim it.
Mm-hmm.
So the workers are actually super limited in this, because every time you recall, you move a season. You can only recall 4 times, and then that your game is over.
Oh wow.
Yeah, like, and if you're the other person's still going, they just keep going. Like, it's once you've hit all your season markers, that's it. You get an
So how many different actions do you have then?
There's you start with 2, then you get 3 after you recall, then 4 after you recall, and then 6.
Okay.
Yeah. So it's just placing those and then recalling. But
So 15. Okay.
yeah, 15 actions.
Okay.
But of course, you can as an action you can play cards out of your hand,
Right.
or out of the tableau.
Okay.
And a lot of those actions can kind of come off of each other, to where like the courthouse and the judge, I had both of. The courthouse, every time I constructed something, I got a twig, an amber, or a pebble for free. And then the judge was, I can swap out any berry for any other resource. And then the shopkeeper was, every time I played a constructed or critter, I got a berry for free. So I was getting the berries and then swapping them out for resources, and then sort of building everything up. Where it kind of comes into Race for the Galaxy a little bit is you can only have 15 cards in front of you. Your tableau is 15, a 5x3. It doesn't matter where they are, but some cards can stack on top of each other. Like there's a husband and wife for the farm, but they only take up 1 slot. And if you match the pair, you get an extra 3 victory points and some other bonuses, like some extra goods or something like that. But there is a little bit of interactivity. CJ had played like a fool, because there's like a carnival theme in some of the cards, to where you can play it in someone else's tableau, and it's just negative 2 points. But it also takes up one of your slots. there's ways to...
It takes up one of their slots?
It takes up one of my slots.
Oh, okay.
Like, he played it in mine, and now it takes up a slot.
And it's worth -2.
And it's worth -2.
Okay.
I wasn't able to really see... And there are a lot of cards in this game. We didn't really see all of them.
But you don't know if you can get rid of it or not?
The only thing I ever saw was there was a card, a construction called Ruins, that lets you discard another building, and you get the full resource value back from that building.
Okay.
But, of course, your Ruins now is worth 0 and sits there.
But it's not worth -2.
But it's not worth -2. There's 3 cards in there that I had to look up online because there was no reference to them at all. They're like a Rat King guy. He's used in like the solo game as like your opponent. He's like a bad guy.
Okay.
But there's 3 of those in there. One of them super sucked, which was CJ got him. CJ you can have a hand limit of 8, and it's not easy to draw cards. I had 8 cards. CJ had 2, so he played this guy, and he's like, okay, swap hands.
Oh.
And I just hand him all my cards, and I get his 1 card. That's it. That's all there is.
You said that those cards were optional, though, right?
Yeah, so they have a special symbol on them, but they don't reference them in the rules at all. And the only thing I found was a BGG post from the designer, be like, oh, what could those be? And then like went on like, yeah, we sort of snuck those in there. They didn't really announce anything about them. But those ones are definitely the most interactive and dicky of the cards. One of them just sort of gets you points for events that your opponent has.
Okay.
Which isn't bad. And then the other one can like trash things out of the other person's tableau or something like that. We didn't see that one. But
Gotcha.
Come up in the game. And then there's like 2 expansions that came in his version that have like legendary critters that are super powerful. We didn't use those. It was fun.
Cool.
It's a really good game. I liked it a lot.
Yeah, well, it was one of the BGG hype. So, like the top hotness.
The tree is flimsier than you would imagine.
Is it plastic?
No, it's like punchboard.
Oh, gotcha.
Yeah. It's a cool setup, though. Like, the event cards go on, like, the first tier of the tree, and then your extra workers go on the top, and that's where, like, the season markers are.
Okay.
Yeah. But you don't want to waste workers in that game. They are vital to everything. Because, I mean, like, the first round, you only have 2 actions.
Yeah.
So you need those 2 actions to be like, I need to build something. Because the first season bonus is
green cards, right?
Activate green cards. So you need at least a green card in there. And then there's like some cool like little end game things you can do. Like there's a spot that only unlocks in the last season where it's like 2, 3, 4, 5 victory point spot, but you have to discard that many cards to get those victory points. So if you have like, it's like my last move, I have a bunch of dumb cards in my hand, place a worker, discard 5 cards, get 5 points.
Oh, that's something, yeah.
Yeah, it was a smartly designed game. I wish I knew someone that owned it that lived in Colorado.
Bob.
Did he get it?
Yes, he did.
Nice.
Nice. Yeah, no, I was gonna see if he wanted to play it tomorrow. Okay. So.
Sweet.
Yeah.
Yeah. That was it. Then I slept like a baby.
I'm sure you did.
Oh man, I have a little sleep tracker Fitbit. And
the quality goes straight up.
Oh man, it's so much. Like it shows like when you're awake, just for like a little bit, not even once, all night long.
Is there an option that's like, is he dead? And you were just down there the entire time.
And a corpse.
Yep.
Corpse level sleep. Yeah, slept like crazy, like 9.5 hours. Didn't wake up once. Didn't wake up till like 10:30 the next morning. And I was like, oh, all right.
A deep, dreamless sleep.
No, there was a lot of dreams.
Oh, okay.
It was mostly board game related. It was weird.
Chase that cupboard sleep.
Yeah. Cupboard sleep?
From the Paul F. Tompkins thing about sleeping inside the cupboard.
Oh, yeah. Oh, just chasing that dragon for the rest of his life.
Yep.
At the same time. Good times.
Yeah.
How was your air travel?
It sucked. I mean, I was able to get a first row again, but like I was Southwest, so I was positioned 44, and I still got a first row seat, and I was like, oh, this is great. And then the guy next to me or he was on the aisle seat. I was in the window seat.
Mm-hmm.
There was a woman who was sort of passing by, and she looked at her thing, and it said like A59, and she's just like, there aren't 59 rows here, or whatever. And he's just like, oh no, this is open seating, so you can sit wherever you want. And she's like, I can just sit wherever you want. And he's like, yeah. And so he's like, all right. And so she sat in between us.
Mm-hmm.
She was clearly very drunk the entire time.
Nice.
Dirty. Yeah, not nice. Dropped her phone multiple times and losing it and having us make her help her find it.
Great.
And very handsy.
Ugh.
Yeah, like wanting to hold the guy's hand next to the other guy's hand, like, but like as a friend, and was like very, just and
not a good flying buddy.
no, and like she was resting on my shoulder, but I was like, if she just sleeps, I'm fine with her laying there. I don't
know.
Yeah.
I know what could happen.
And then once or twice, I was just standing there, and all of a sudden her legs come up and go right on my leg, and it was like, no. And then at one point she went to the bathroom, and both me and the guy looked at each other and were like, Jesus Christ.
Jesus Christ.
And then after the flight, I saw him when we were getting the luggage, and we bonded over the train wreck that was our middle passenger.
Great.
Yeah. And then I got home.
And then you went home. I was in Chicago Monday.
Mm-hmm.
Went for some Chicago-style deep dish pizza.
That was the deepest of dishes.
Oh, very much. I've seen deeper, but there is very deep.
Yeah.
It's Giordano's. They're going to be actually in Denver sooner or later.
Okay.
Good other regular pizza, too.
Gotcha.
Visited family for another day. There was thunderstorms in Chicago, and I was like, I guarantee my flight's going to be delayed, because my flight was supposed to leave at 9, and at about 3 o'clock after lunch, it was like, I looked at the email, and I was like, yep.
Ding.
Delayed 2.5 hours until 11:30 p.m., so that's when my flight departed. I didn't get back into Denver until 1 a.m. this morning.
Mm-hmm.
And then I discovered... also, that airport interior is, like, shredded right now. Like, there's, like, closed-off construction, white walls everywhere in that place.
In... which one?
DIA.
Oh, yes. Yeah.
Like, holy shit.
Yep.
Is that place a nightmare right now. Like, to get my baggage, I had to go, like, through a different baggage claim and back up around.
Yeah.
Like, snake around to baggage claim 1. And then I discovered that the train wasn't running. So I had no way to get home except for Lyft and or Uber, which was fine. I was like, oh, I have 25% off rides. I got that from like a 5-star rating or something. I don't know. And then I looked and I was like, oh, after 25% off, $80.
Yep. That's because everybody else was trying to go in there, and at 1 a.m. there's not nearly enough drivers there.
No.
You got some of that sweet surge pricing.
Yes. The baggage areas that I had to walk through and the little terminal train were shoulder to shoulder. Like, and when we filled one up, it was already like so many flights must have been coming in due to delays at that time.
Oh, I'm sure.
Weather, that the airport was like packed, which sucked. So I had to wait around until either 4:30 in the morning when the train started running again, or wait for the surge price to go back down. Thankfully, at 2:30 in the morning, it finally did.
Yeah.
And I got a $13 shared Lyft.
Yep.
Lyft share. Is that what it's?
Lyft shared now.
Lyft share. Home. Thankfully, I was the first drop off.
Yep.
And I walked in the door about a minute or two after 3 a.m. this morning. And then went directly to bed and then directly to work for a 10-hour workday.
Yeah.
Because our stout season has begun, and barrels and nightmare, and it's bad. It's real bad. And that was my 10-hour workday. And then I came home, and then you got here 10 minutes later, and now we're doing this.
Yes, we are. Yep. So what do you think of the convention overall?
So that was Sunday.
Yeah.
That was and Monday.
And Monday to now. It is now. Up to now.
Now is now. The The convention was cool. I liked having the press pass.
I'm sure you did.
I mean, it was cool just getting in the hour early. I don't know if that's really... I certainly didn't try and get in first thing on any of the other expo hall days. I sort of just wandered down whenever.
Yeah.
Because there wasn't anything that I was like, I must buy this. Except Arkham Horror 3rd Edition, which wasn't for sale there, but I would definitely really want that.
Yep.
Convention overall, I really liked having a close nearby hotel.
That was definitely nice. It was great for the people that weren't driving.
Yes.
And it sucked for the people that were driving.
Yeah. Because you had to park.
Yeah, because before in the Airbnb, it was just you parked on the street.
Yep.
Whatever.
That's where it is.
Yep.
Unless you find a garage with cheap parking.
Exactly.
Which we did, which I would highly recommend anyone having to drive go to a nearby garage maybe 10 blocks away for $10 to $11 a day.
Yep.
And that's totally worth it. Especially if you're splitting it between two people.
Exactly, yeah.
Or more.
Or if you're having somebody bring games home for you, maybe chip in into their parking a little bit.
Yes. Let's see. Parking, worth it. Brought a lot of beer. Drank a lot of beer.
Not nearly as much as last times, though.
No, because we've had a big van the last couple times that we've had an insane amount of beer. But we also had a lot bigger crowd of people. So what were we, like 7, 6, 7, 8?
Somewhere around there.
Total this year?
Yeah, we'll say 8.
Yeah. In previous years, it's been like 14? 16?
14 or 16, I think, was our highest, yeah.
Yeah. Trying to get into like some colossal Airbnb. Ant was trying to thin that down a little bit for, I don't know, sanity reasons. Our room was pretty cool. It's a 2-level suite. Slept 6 pretty easily. Air mattress, pull-out bed, actual mattress. Didn't do any events at all whatsoever this year. The only thing I did was buy $6 in general admission tickets to do the library one night.
Yep, same here.
Yeah.
And mainly wanted to do it to play those bullshit games.
Yeah.
Which I did.
Yep. The Reckoners. Bullshit game.
I mean, also, yes, we played that.
I was only in the stadium that one time. No, we did
twice.
We played Terraforming Mars out there.
It's still cool that they have that.
Yeah.
I think it's really good that I hope they continue to do that.
Yes. This year they opened up a small section of the actual field that you could walk onto that was roped off and with a convention person sitting there in a chair in the one way you could get in because you could go take a picture on the field on whatever turf line that was.
Yes.
I thought that was weird. But I guess if you're a Colts fan and getting a picture on the field, whatever.
Yeah. Should have gotten David some of that fake
gasoline?
poop. Well, not just that, but fake poop, and so he could put it on the ground.
Yes.
And then smiled, and then but also not be kicked out for actually
pooping,
defecating on it. Yeah.
Yes, you would probably get kicked out for that.
Exactly.
Yes.
Fake poop, fine.
Totally fine. I liked going around and talking with people, and I spent a lot more time than I usually do trying to get demos of games.
Yes, which I think we should continue to do.
Yeah.
Next year, because the last couple ones was always like the ones that we bought, we played.
Yes.
But this one was
trying new
things. Yes.
And not just the stuff we played. But we also played the stuff we played, stuff we bought.
We did play the things we played. You're right.
We played the things we played, but we had to buy them first.
Yes.
Most of the time.
Yeah.
Played a decent amount of games. Yeah.
I think not doing Pandepic
helped
a lot at that, and
with the evening
I
gameplay.
am honestly okay if Ant doesn't bring it back, but that's just my opinion.
Yeah. You'll get some event volunteers.
Yes.
Yeah.
Are you glad you didn't do Blood Bowl?
Yeah, because that was probably the day I got the most done.
Right.
In chit chatting with people and seeing cool stuff, and also the rest of the convention, which was neat.
Yeah, It was either that or play a game that you already play a lot.
Correct. And probably just do mediocre.
Yeah.
And who cares?
Yeah, exactly.
Because be the 7th fucking Lizard Man player that was at this tournament.
Mm-hmm.
Holy shit, was there a lot of Lizard Men at the
right.
tournament. Yeah. How about you?
I enjoyed it. Like you said, it was definitely nice to be to try out some more games actually on the floor.
Mm-hmm.
Like, because I don't think I ever played. Like, I definitely did in the first year, and I maybe 1 or 2 in the second year. So it was nice to get more of those actually on the exhibit floor.
Yeah.
It was nice to the couple times we at least now it was a couple times we would talk to media people, and they're like, "Oh, that name sounds familiar."
Yeah.
And I was like, "Sweet, that's good."
Yeah. I never really was like, "Have you heard of us?" Because that seems desperate.
Yes.
But
no, it's just, hey, we're from Mile High Game Guys.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like, that sounds familiar. Yeah. Maybe next year everyone's going to be like, "Oh, yeah."
Yep. I always give them our unofficial tagline. Always makes them laugh. So
most podcast.
But board gaming's most podcasts and high quantity content.
High quantity content.
Yep. And yeah, I was glad to do another drinking related thing.
Yes, because we did that at Geekway.
We did it at Geekway, and also last year was the arena rolling thing, which we didn't see this year.
No, it was a different place this year, but we could have gone to that had we thought about it. Mm-hmm. Jake from Draft Mechanic did.
Yeah.
He had a picture of stuff.
I'm sure.
But it
wasn't right nearby, so.
No, but we went to our own bottle share event in some Star Trek themed hotel area. Did you notice how much Star Trek stuff there was there?
No, I did not.
Okay.
Oh, yes. Now I didn't.
Like the people at the desk were all in like pretty decent like Star Trek uniforms. Actually,
I did not notice them at all.
Yeah, I was like, all right. I thought it was just sort of like, oh, they have like Star Wars or Star Trek like posters on the wall. And I was like, meh, whatever. And I was like, oh, that's a pretty good outfit though. All right.
Nice. Yeah. I don't think it was like the actual convention itself. I don't think there were a lot of amazing announcements as it was like last year.
No. Fantasy Flight did their thing early.
Yeah.
Instead of like Thursday night or Friday night or whatever they usually do, just to be able to get like more demos and stuff in.
I think like the new major thing that you could buy was the Keyforge game.
That wasn't for sale.
It wasn't. It. No. But people. I think it was people who. I think people at the in-flight got.
Copies of it.
Yes.
Okay.
Because there wasn't anything like TI4. They're like TI4 and it's for sale.
Yeah. This was like X-Wing 2nd edition conversion kits.
Yeah. Which I guess
And maybe
to be honest, a lot of people were interested in that.
Oh yes. Yes. I saw
edition,
endless bags of X-Wing stuff coming out of there.
But as for 2nd edition stuff, I was like,
meh.
Yeah.
Who cares?
4th edition though. 4th edition's where it's at.
Yes. And then I think there was an Arkham LCG expansion that was early or something like that. When I was in line in my early access time, I just wanted to go through there and see what was fancy. And they had the little tickets that they would hand out, and those were the only tickets they were handing out.
Gotcha.
Arkham Horror 3rd Edition, big surprise. I'm looking forward to that the most. What else am I looking forward to? Heroes of Terranoth. It's going to be coming out soon. I liked that a lot. That Super Star Destroyer for Armada looked pretty cool.
2 feet long.
Yeah.
Once a mini gets 2 feet long, you're like, nope, it's not.
No, it's Bigature.
Yep.
I had the picture with the Bigature.
Yeah, it's more expensive than the Cthulhu one. So
the Super Star Destroyer is like $200. The Bigature of Cthulhu, $150.
25% cheaper.
25% cheaper. And you can play a game with both, though.
It's true.
Yeah.
Apparently, that thing it got 226 command points in order to get it on your Armada field, which is like well over half the amount of ships you can have. Like, yeah,
that sounds right. You would definitely use that in maybe a larger scale.
Yes, definitely.
I'm sure that thing will just shred whatever needs
that
shredding.
and a couple X-Wings. Let's do this.
Yeah. All you have to do is just ram an A-Wing into the bridge and it's over.
Mm-hmm. Or you just take one of the Rebel things and then shoot it at light speed.
Yes. Yes, there you go. Go into light speed.
Mm-hmm.
I want Heroes of Terranov.
Yep.
I want Arkham Horror 3rd
Mm-hmm.
Edition. I'm looking forward to City of Gears.
Yes. I think that was honestly, I really enjoyed that play that we did.
Yeah. Much more interactive than I expected, which was nice. It's not just it's not like just a nice little, I'm going to go out here and take over things and area control. No, you're fucked. Zap, done,
Yeah.
etc.
Your roommate has clearly never heard one of our podcasts.
Clearly.
If this link is surprising for her.
Yes. City of Gears, coming soon to a podcast near you.
Yep.
I'm sure we will get a copy of that through our fine sponsors.
One would hope.
One would hope. He's like, nah.
Not this time.
Not this time.
You got to beg for it.
Yeah, beg. That's fine. Anything you're looking forward to?
Also those.
Also those.
Yeah.
Trying to think of other big announcements. There may have been smaller stuff out there.
Trying Gen 7 whenever you get a chance.
Yeah, Gen 7. I demoed that literally first thing, first day, Thursday, and am more impressed with that than I was expecting.
Yeah.
It was prototype components, so I don't know if it's worth $100 yet.
Right, yeah.
But it was a fun game. Yeah. Get out some of those little. Star Realms Frontiers. I have a big box for that now.
Yeah, but you already have all that stuff.
I'm looking forward to getting that all into one box.
I'm sure you are.
Yeah.
I think that's about.
Overall, convention-wise.
Yeah.
Everyone was like, "Oh, it seemed crowded." I was like, "This seems as crowded as
Exactly.
it is every year."
Exactly. Yeah.
I'm not oh Jesus, it's shoulder to shoulder. It wasn't. I was able to get pretty much anywhere I wanted to go at any time.
Exactly.
There was some minor
congestion
at
it
intersections.
really, there was some and especially in the first day, but that's the first day when everybody is like, I need to buy that one thing.
Yeah. Never really ran into that. I wasn't running out to try and buy stuff.
Same.
A lot of other people were. I was just wanting to more see stuff.
Technically, the only things you wanted to buy, you already bought.
Yes.
An hour early, so.
Which I didn't really buy any. Oh, I bought the Prelude
and Forbidden Sky
for Paul.
Yes, I just meant in general,
yeah,
because that one actually sold. I think that sold out pretty quickly.
Yeah, they did. It didn't seem like they had a ton of copies, but I think it was a launch or early release.
Probably, yeah.
Yeah. Just gonna say yeah over and over again.
Yeah, I think that's a good good indication that we should probably end this.
Yes, GenCon was a good again.
Yes, it was.
I will go again. I will not go.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Make sure we all get one room this time, though.
Yes. Hopefully we can get another. Overall, worth it.
Yes.
The fancy room. Hashtag.
Worth it.
Worth it.
Yep.
Yes. No Adrian. Maybe next week.
I mean, I would assume next week he'll be on. Yes.
Next week he'll be back.
Yep, and we'll be back to our regular schedule. We'll be in the new studio, all that stuff.
Yeah, new studio. Carpeted.
Yes.
We'll see how we'll go and criticize Adrian's carpentry skills.
Sounds about right.
Yes.
All right.
All right. That's been us in GenCon. It's over.
Yep.
It's finally over. Until next year.
Yep, in 11 months and 3 weeks.
Yeah, because it's the exact same day.
First
weekend of August next year. Awesome.
All right.
That's the Mile High Game Guys GenCon wrap up.
Yeah.
We're wrapped up.
Twitter.
Wrap it up.
Twitter and all that stuff.
Oh, emails. at
There you go.
milehighgameguys.com if you want to send us an email
Yeah.
about any of these. Zach, you tweet under.
I am Zach_MHGG.
I'm Jeff_MHGG.
And you can reach us in general and also Adrian at MHGameGuys.
MHGameGuys.
Yep. Not what Jake say?
Our Instagram is at milehighgameguys.
Yes.
And that's what he linked on Twitter. Because he was doing a Twitter post.
Yeah.
And it just pulled the name out.
Right.
Adrian clearly needs to turn our Instagram into MHGameGuys.
Clearly.
Yes.
But that would require Adrian to do something.
Yeah. Boom.
Roasted. All right. I'm still Zach.
And I'm over GenCon Jeff.
Sure.
Over this year.
Yeah, there you go.
I'm glad vacation is over.
Yes, same here. All right, bye.
Bye.
Punchboard Media, where we all
bring something
to the table.
Pull up a chair
at punchboardmedia.com.